Oh, hello, beautiful people. It's your girl, Davielle. Welcome back. I appreciate you being here per usual. We're talking about Saturn today, planet Saturn. I'm getting right into it. Okay, I'm going to try not to speak too fast, but I don't want to sit on this video any longer. Planet Saturn is single-handedly one of the most important planets. I mean, all of them are, right? But this is the planet to understand your karma. The karma you come into this lifetime with. The karma that no matter how much you run from, it's going to get that. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not here to scare you. I'm not here to anything, but I'm a realist. I am going to give it to you straight. I am going to give it to you real spicy even, because this is an important planet. I can't play about Saturn, because Saturn is setting us up so that we can actually tap into the life purpose that we're meant to tap into. And when I say life purpose, I don't mean doctor or a pastor or no. Life purpose is kind of like an energy, characteristics that you're meant to embody in this lifetime in order to fulfill certain things within this lifetime. Okay, so it's not just about career path. No. But it is deeper. It is about this is who you embody, the energies you embody, and the characteristics is who you should become, right? And so North Node is actually the part that helps you to understand your life purpose. South Node helps you to understand the energy you naturally came into this lifetime with, right? And so the reason why I'm talking about life purpose is because in order to understand your karma, you have to understand planet Saturn, because your karma and overcoming your karma is going to help you to align with your purpose. Y'all picking up what I'm putting down right now? And we think karma isn't this good thing, but there's two sides to karma. There's what's owed to you because you deserve this beautiful thing. And there's also what you have to pay, the dues you got to pay to get to where you got to go. And so just like you pay a due to get on the train, to get on the bus, because you understand that's what you got to do. You know, if I get from point A to point B, I got to give this money. Yeah, my account might get lower or whatever, but it's a blessing because I get to pay for this ride so that it can get me to where I got to go. Right. So think of it that way. But deeper and stronger and louder. Right. Saturn's like, hey, yo, look. I'm here to help you understand what you absolutely have to face and not just overcome, but like master. Saturn's going to shake your life. And so there's also something called Saturn return, if you're familiar. It's when Saturn does that like 27 to 30 year cycle. Basically, it takes that many years for it to get back to the exact sign that you were born in, if that makes sense. So Saturn was in Aries. It takes 30 years to reach Saturn Aries again, because it goes through all 12 zodiac signs until it hits your birth Saturn, if that makes sense. So the Saturn you have in your birth chart, that is why it's called a Saturn return. It returned back to who you were at birth. And so Saturn is kind of known as that planet that helps you become an adult. It's like, okay, from age 1 to about 27, you're this child that's learning life, that's trying to do the best that you can do. The reason why I say between 27 and 30 is because it really varies depending on when Saturn wants to pop into your sign, honestly. But it typically happens around then. When Saturn transits and goes into the sign that you were born in, it's like, okay, you have now done this full cycle of learning life and understand. Now I have to require you to understand these karmic lessons and to master them. And so how do us humans learn the best most times? Yes, positive reinforcement and all that, but it takes a level of challenge. It takes a level of, this movie I watched, it was saying how like when you ask for courage, you don't just get courage handed to you, you get experiences that help you to prove to yourself that you are courageous. Like the way they quoted it was so good. If I can find the quote, I'll try to put it. If YouTube don't cuss me out, tell me copyright. I don't know, but maybe I'll put the words. But yeah, when you ask to face your fears, you're not asking to just sit in a really lovely place where no fears are being showcased. No, you have to actually experience fearful things to see yourself overcome and get to the other side. That's exactly what Saturn's doing. Saturn's just like, okay, you have a duty to tap into this energy and to be so good at this energy, but you may not like it because Saturn is there to challenge you, to help you to see the sides of yourself that you may not want to see or may not want to experience. And I want to give a bunch of examples, but every time Saturn gets into a sign, that's an energy. That's a vibe. I can actually use the world as an example. Right now, planet Saturn is in Aries. So everyone that has Saturn in their chart Okay, and it's every 30 years and every 30 years after that. Now that Saturn is in Aries, as a collective, all of us on this planet, we are learning to actually believe in ourselves, actually take accountability for the that we've gone through, for the position that we're in when it comes to life. So February 2026 is when we entered Saturn in Aries, and will be in Saturn Aries until April of 2028. So just about 2.5 years that has to go by so Saturn can really set up its energy and get us to that next phase. And so as a collective, we all go through this energy on top of the energy that we have within our chart. And so if you are not experiencing your Saturn return, so for example, if your Saturn isn't in Aries right now, it doesn't mean you're having an easy time. Your Saturn still exists in your chart. So if yours isn't in Aries, but it's in Libra, you're still having those Libra challenges within your Saturn. But it may not be as shaky right now because maybe you already learned the lesson, or you still have time until your return comes, or whatever the case may be. As a collective, there's just a karmic duty. So you'll see corporations, you'll see things around us that need to take accountability, that need to come from a place of truth, need to have the confidence to do what's right, to do what aligns. And if you're out of alignment, Saturn Aries will whip that ass into shape. You know what I mean? It's just this thing where as a collective, we're meant to step up. We're meant to see ourselves and understand unhealthy environments, understand what isn't good for our bodies. Even Aries is about health, right? And so Saturn's like, okay, karmically, you are due for a cleanse in your body because I've let you, Saturn's watched you eat all them things. You get what I'm saying? I'm not judging you. It's Saturn, okay? This isn't me. I just want to remind you. It's Saturn being like, I've watched you eat some of the most unhealthy things, or I've watched you eat the healthiest you've ever eaten, and yet you still need nutrients from this thing that you don't like. And so now you're going to find yourself needing that. It's just a light example, right? But there's hard-hitting things that happen. A lot of people, for example, Saturn in Aquarius may have seen with their Saturn return when it happened, they may have experienced something where they left a position that was really stable so that they can actually innovate and do something new, try something challenging, try something different, step outside of their comfort zone, show up for a community, because Aquarius is about thinking outside the box and helping people from a place of innovation, right? And so there's so much I could say about it, but please, if you are looking at your birth chart, curious about your birth chart, want me to help you with your birth chart, understand that I'm going to talk about Saturn, especially if it's about life purpose, okay? Life purpose is no joke. When we are looking at our North Node, it's already naturally what we have to accomplish. So now Saturn's like, ooh, pick me. I can help you get to that energy. And so, like I said, we will start off the couple years in our life as kids, basically, right? But once we hit that 27 years, you're gonna see a shift. I don't care what you say. Take a moment and pause for me and think of if you are at that age, right? You're 27, 26, 27 age to about 31, 32. What big thing happened in your life? Well, big things happen all the time in my life. Okay, but there's that thing that really showed you some ish. The decision you made, you felt guided to make it, and it shook your life in the most insane way. And I don't mean by like from broke to poor or this, that, and the third. Yes, that can be valid, but it can be from being so quiet into yourself to now you're in the main stage talking to everybody, and it just changed. Your life just shifted. And it's this really difficult thing that even if people don't see outwardly you're going through, you feel it so deeply inside because it's such a challenge. Now you have anxiety, you have a level of panic, especially Saturn in Aries. Oh my gosh, challenging so many people to show up and say what they need to say, to stand up to that parent that they were always kind of letting get away with stuff. And it's from a place of calm, because Saturn's going to show you need that parent, but you also need to love yourself enough to have the confidence to set them straight while partnering with them still. You know what I'm saying? Like Saturn's like, hey, look, you're going to get the nitty gritty of what Aries has to offer, because there's beauty in Aries, but you are challenged with that. And so as a society, as a collective, and I hope that is not confusing. If you have questions, let me know in the comments, but I don't want it to be too confusing, because as a collective, we can have a collective energy. So you'll see a lot of people taking accountability, a lot of people taking action in their life in a way that was different. Like if someone, for example, was a hard worker, was like really good in corporate America, you see them now taking action in a different area in their life. Maybe it's a hobby that they now want to turn into something lucrative, or it's going so hard in boxing, but they never really cared for boxing. You never thought that that person would ever take up boxing, but secretly they've been watching boxing videos like crazy. It's things that we just don't see coming because people are starting to finally believe in themselves. People are starting to stand up to corporations. If you were really reliant, something light, on a grocery store, you finally see yourself putting your foot down and being like, I don't like how this grocery store does things. I don't like how things expire so much. Whatever the case may be, you actually challenge yourself to go that extra 20 miles down the road to get 20 miles. Sounds like a lot, oh my gosh, but 20 minutes is what I meant to say. But hey, look, but you challenge yourself to go that extra mile to align with what you believe in, because you have the confidence within you to take that action, because Saturn is not giving any other way. Saturn's going to have you buy stuff from that grocery store and it goes bad every time. It's going to go bad every time. And your body's going to feel a little about it. But when you go to that mom and pop shop, that cheese just makes your body feel good, or whatever the case may be, feels good. But when you order from there, it's not the best. Same with restaurants, whatever the case may be. A lot of bodily karmic things are happening right now. Aries is like, I'm gonna make you leave your car at home because your car's gonna out of nowhere have issues, so you gotta walk all the way to work. You know what I mean? You gotta do this thing that is outside of your comfort zone and it may feel annoying, but it's in your best interest, right? So as a collective, we have this energy, but it doesn't take away from our personal Saturn and what Saturn's teaching us in our personal life. So just keep that in mind, especially when you're aligning with your life purpose. You don't have to look at the collective energy. You can look at your birth chart. Where is your Saturn in your birth chart? That will help you to understand what you need to overcome. I'm doing my best to keep this video short, so I'll go more in depth. I would love to maybe talk about all the signs, whatever you guys want to hear, let me know. But I felt the need to really let this video out and say that, like, we all want to romanticize information, you know, like the birth chart. I want the birth chart reading to tell me when I'm gonna meet my wife, I'm gonna meet my husband, when I'm gonna this, and the nitty gritty of like lighthearted things. And while that's cute and all, there's also heavy hitting information that could really guide you, that can help you to prepare for certain things happening in your life. And now's the time to ask the hard questions. I know Saturn doesn't sound fun, trust me, right? But when you do tap into that energy, the rewards are astronomical. Saturn's like, yo, see me, pick me, because I will have you soaring high. When karma is good karma and it's like fulfilling karma, nothing can beat that. You know, it's this thing that you are owed. But in order for you to receive what you're owed, you have to step into the energy. So now that the energy that wants to give and wants to owe you can come in. Like the confidence to go to that cafe, you now bump into that person. But all this time, you're like, I don't like cafes, I'll never go alone. But you actually going alone could change your life. And Saturn's going to shake you up. So now when you go with a friend, all of a sudden, I don't want to mention certain things, but like shaky things happen, whether it's your card, the X, Y, and Z, or you know what I mean? Like there's just weird things that happen because you're being pushed to do it alone. Now there's other things you want to do with people. Saturn's going to keep poking you to do alone. So now people are canceling on you. So now you're just like, oh, this is so annoying. Like I used to have groups of friends left and right that would go with me, but it's like, no, you're being led to do it alone so that you have time to think, so that you have time to actually take action. Yeah, but I'm the only child. I have so much time alone, but it's different. Sometimes it's alone and we're obsessing about being alone, but now it's like alone time that fulfills you. And so you're on that journey to get clear on it, right? And so Saturn is here to help us. Saturn is here to get us so much closer to our overall purpose. But it takes a level of discomfort. It takes a level of challenge. It takes a level of shaky energy. That's why Saturn return people are like, brace yourself, because you are becoming an adult. And you know, hopefully if you are an adult, if you are a young adult, you understand and you've heard that adulting can be challenging. You know, adulting can really shake your ass. You know what I mean? Like maybe you are a parent and you're learning to find time for yourself, and that's really, really difficult. Or you leaving your child to go do that thing on your own, that's challenging. Like there's so many areas in life that we're all trying to overcome, and Saturn's like, just trust me on this. And you might cry, you might stress, you may act like everything's good, but you're actually so frustrated because you're like, oh, how did I get here? And Saturn's like, well, I could tell you that, or we could just focus on this forward movement and where to go next. So I am sending so much love to anyone that is in their Saturn return. It is no joke. And everyone that is going to experience it, just know that it's working out for you. It just may not feel like that at first. But give it some time. Yay! And things will lighten up as time progresses. But like I said, your Saturn is absolutely helping you to get closer to your life purpose. The more you run away from that Saturn return, the more you run away from Saturn energy in general, the more you're saying, nah, I'm all good with my life purpose. I don't want to embrace those characteristics or step into that energy. And I'm gonna lie, it's not the best choice. But hey, what do I know? Look, free will is a thing. So I'm going to leave this here. Like, comment, share, subscribe, support your girl. And if not, I appreciate you making it this far. Thank you so much. And as always, if you have questions, reach out to me. Let's chat. I like to chit chat. Okay. So I hope to hear from you and I will see you on the next one, right? Bye.